Locally, there's always been huge stereotypes, misconceptions, and presumptions about interracial relationships, and people have become more and more aware of the way in which these stereotypes still dictate the way we think about and talk about interracial dating. According to Daily Nation, the number of interracial marriages is increasing rapidly in Kenya. Between 1998 and 2010, records at the marriage registry indicate that the number of interracial marriages grew by 85%. With the lovely couple in studio with us today, we learn how to make interracial relationships work and how love ultimately unites. Good morning, ladies and gents. How are you doing this Wednesday? Hope you're all well rested from the short holiday break that we had just yesterday. First, before we even get into today's topic, you know I'm about to ask you to follow us on social media, right? You know the drill by now. We want you guys to be chatting with us and engaging with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's Living with S. But in case you're actually not a social media person, then it's fine. We have the SMS number on the screen right now. So if you have any thoughts on today's topic, suggestions on future episodes, then just let us know. Now, relationships. That's what we're getting into today. The truth of the matter is already relationships, it can be a hit or miss, right? You never know how it's going to go because essentially it's two people coming together and having to deal with each other's histories and experiences and I don't know, just different perspectives on life. But what happens when on top of that you have to add on that maybe they're from a different ethnicity, cultural background, maybe even religious background? How do you handle that? So our guests today are Kelvin, Njoroge, and Azmairah Saleh, and they're going to talk to us about how it's been for them through their interracial dating. Or just dating in general. We can just talk about that too. So Kelvin, why don't you tell me what you do?
I'm an operations manager at a prestigious conveyancing and commercial firm in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yes.
And what about you, Azmairah?
I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. We actually work in the same organization.
Interesting. Okay, so how did that actually come to be? How did it happen?
I'd say I had an eye for him first.
Okay.
But I was already in a relationship at that time, so I brushed off.
Okay, do the right thing. Yeah.
So I brushed it off. He was also in a relationship at that time.
Yeah.
We said, let's just be friends. So we used to go out and have, not dates, but we used to go out for coffee, drinks.
Yeah.
And then I guess he fell in love with me. I'd say that, because then he was the one who was pursuing me. So yeah. That's how we met.
And of course, by then, the other relationships were no longer, a factor. Yeah. So how long have you guys been dating?
Over a year.
16 months to be precise.
60. Okay, we see who's really into the date. So I guess he remembers the anniversary.
Of course.
And treats you.
Yes.
That's nice. Because sometimes it's the stereotypical thing is like the guy has no clue. He's just like, we've just been dating, but I like it. 16 months.
Yes.
To be precise.
Yes.
So were you always open to dating outside of your race?
I had before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that was when I was in school, so it was not something that I was serious. It was just, here are the guys there. For this point in my life, I didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the time when you want to settle down.
Yeah.
So of course, I wasn't looking at any other race apart from my race. But then he came along, so.
Yeah, it just happened.
It just happened.
And what about you, Kelvin?
No. I keep an open mind.
Okay.
I am not a guy who put barriers in anything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that I anticipated. But since I bumped into it, I just go with the flow and make the best out of it. Okay,
so you hadn't dated outside of your race before?
No.
Okay, so at what point in your relationship did you start to think, wow, okay, I actually see that there is a difference in culture? Because I'm sure that must have come up at some point. Yeah. So do you remember the first moment you're like, wow, Azmairah, what's going on?
Okay, to be precise, it was, I think, our second or third date.
Yeah.
At a restaurant in Westlands.
Okay.
When you get side by eyes, when you walk around with Azmairah, and you just realize that this is totally different because everyone is giving you a different kind of vibe.
Oh.
And then you realize you're totally dating outside the comfort zone. You're beating status quo.
Yeah.
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 And that was my wake-up call.
And was there anything said, or were you just aware of the
No.
eyes?
The eyes speak more
Yeah.
than the actual person speaking. And I think that was when I realized that whatever we are doing is not something that is socially accepted. Yeah.
And what
Not only the eyes,
Yeah.
we go to places and people will ask, are you guys together? Like,
wow, they'll off the bat
yeah,
just come up to you
yeah.
and be like, so you guys are
Yeah.
And so, okay, when you say yes, what's their response?
like, oh, okay. Like, we'd gone to a bank once and he stood next to me and the lady at the counter was like, is he with you? And I was like, of course, the account has both names, so of course he's with me.
Right.
So it was like,
But I bet if it was someone in your race, from your race, it wouldn't have been a question. It would have just
Yes.
assumed, of course, you're together.
of course, yes.
Wow. But has there been any kind of like rude remark, or you've not
No.
had to?
No,
Yeah.
I have a way of downplaying it.
Okay.
I make the situation a bit awkward.
Yeah, for the other person. For the other person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
almost
I
just.
just diffuse the situation.
So is when you make it awkward, are you trying to be like, hey, that's actually not what you should be
Yeah.
asking?
I'm just trying to remove the stereotype kind of mindset.
Yeah.
In the 21st century, anything can happen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but I'm trying to show you that it is not unorthodox for us to be together.
Yeah, and to change that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
So, did you guys, especially at the beginning, were there any noticeable differences that you could pick up from each other's cultures? Like, oh, that's how you do it? We
Yes.
we did it like that. Okay, so what are some of those differences?
I'm from a Kikuyu descent.
Okay.
We call ears mato,
Yeah.
but they call the head mato.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of how they do things
Yeah.
and how we do things,
Yeah.
they're actually different, but we always find a way of compromising.
Right.
Meet the other person halfway.
Yeah. And did you find anything that you thought, ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
When we started going out,
Yeah.
like even as friends, we used to do it every Friday after work.
Okay.
So for me, usually after work, it always used to be I go home at
Yeah.
4. So by 5, everyone knows I'm at home.
Yeah.
But now I'm going home at like 7 and 8, and it's a bit difficult because I keep getting phone calls. Where are you? Where are you? And for him, no one's calling him. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, why is no one concerned about you? And he's like,
Right.
no, but I don't live with anyone.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Is no one worried about you?
Yeah.
Does no one care?
Yeah, so he lives by himself. And for me, I
Right.
live under my dad's roof, so I
Yeah.
need to like inform, especially in our culture, the way it is. Girls usually aren't out till so late,
Yeah.
or if you're out, you need to have already informed in advance or seek for permission.
Yeah. So, did you used to do any of that?
Yeah.
Like inform them in
Yeah,
advance?
I'm like, today I'm going out for drinks, so I'll be
Okay.
a bit late, by probably 8. So I never used to like pass like 9. By 9 I'm at home,
Yeah.
and then he's enjoying the rest of his night while I'm at home.
You know, that's probably true for your culture, but I
Yeah.
can also say that for a lot of just girls in general, I think we often bear the brunt and have the parents being like,
Curfew.
but where are you? What were you doing? Who are
Yeah.
you with?
Yeah.
And the guy is, for some reason, you could go missing for a week and no one's
No
like,
one-
he's somewhere. I mean, I'm kidding. That's probably extreme. But it could be like, he's
Yeah.
just out somewhere doing something.
Yeah.
But
So for me, that was what was like, okay, there's a difference here, because he can do whatever he wants. No one will ask him. But for me, I need to like, and he'll be like, okay, you keep getting calls all the time. Is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, they're just calling to ask whether I'm coming home for dinner.
Aw, I guess your parents
Yeah.
just like wanted to have you
Yeah.
around. But so you were talking about going out for drinks with friends and stuff. So how did your friends first take that? How was their reaction?
I have my circle of friends is really huge.
Okay.
And then I have like different sectors of friends. I have friends from primary, I have those from uni, I have those from KSL. So for me, I haven't really put him out there from my end, especially with my circle from my culture, because I didn't want the judgment or the eyes. So for me, it was basically just hanging around with my some set of friends, not
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
And from those friends, it's been amazing.
Okay.
But even after talking to now my other friends, I realize that for them, what matters is that I'm happy. So
Yeah.
as long as I'm happy, they have no problem.
Okay.
But for me, initially, I thought, okay, it's still going to be like judgment. Like, what is she doing? Does she know that this is like totally out what we expect of her?
Right.
Yeah.
And
but
for the friends that you've chosen not to really invite into this now, sacred space in your life, which is your relationship, is it because you're a little conscious of that there might be some kind of rebuttal or pushback?
sort of, and I don't want negative energy. Like, what we have is something so nice, it's so much happiness and so much love, that I don't want to bring anything negative. Like, I don't want anything that will affect or make us feel like what we're doing is not right, because for us it feels like it's right, and anyone else telling us otherwise, then I don't think they need to be around us.
Right.
Yeah.
Amen. Oh, you better preach now. And that's for any relationship.
True,
really.
true.
And what about you?
I have a small circle of friends,
Okay.
and they're very diverse, and they keep an open mind. So it was actually so easy for her to get sucked in, than it was on her end.
I keep telling him that at the end of the day he'll have no friends and all his friends will be my friends.
Take them all,
yeah, I'm
girl.
taking all of them. Like, they're all on my
That's
side.
nice.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of friends, so are your friends diverse? Are they from different ethnicities and religious backgrounds? Or did you find even in that relationship circle that your friends also were from pretty much your same background?
I wouldn't say from a different racial background, but religiously, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my best friend is Muslim.
Okay.
And we go to church together.
Yeah.
He teaches me a few things in the Quran.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's just anything goes.
Right.
Because there's this stereotyping that people keep putting barriers to whom you should know and who you should love.
Yeah.
And that is what kills love. If people are trying to show you love, you should just show love back. Like
Right.
what she's saying, her circle of friends perceive an African guy as just a kawaida guy. Then they get to meet you and see that this guy is actually making sense. He's sophisticated.
Very sophisticated. Excuse me, in case it wasn't. Okay,
Yeah,
I love that.
he dresses nicely. He has his shit going together.
Yeah.
You get, but at the back of their mind, they just think you just any Tom, Dick, and Harry because
Yeah.
you're African, and those are the barriers that we need to shy away from.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did your siblings react? I'm going to get into parents in the next segment, but for now, very quickly, how was the reaction of your siblings? And do you have siblings?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what did they think and say?
Mine at first were not acceptable.
Okay.
They didn't accept the fact that I was with him, and because I broke my previous relationship to be with him, so for them there was like no. But now we hang around together. We're like constantly calling each other. What are you doing? Can we do this?
good.
Can we do that? Like, they even have like private conversations with him, and I'm like, okay, why are my sisters calling you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they don't even call me. So if I see a missed call on his phone, and I'll be like, okay, I think she was trying to call me. So when I call her back, she's like, I wasn't looking for you.
No,
I was looking for Kelvin.
Kelvin.
Then I was like, okay, clearly I'm no longer important. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so
that
that's-
they came round.
Yeah.
And what about you, Kelvin?
I have two twin sisters,
Oh.
and they love her to death.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. And I guess it goes back to if you're looking at the soul, at the heart
Yeah.
of the person, then
Yeah.
that's what really should be the focus,
Yeah,
and not
'cause
really.
Judging someone by their race or religion just put barriers, and that way you can't get to share love.
Yeah.
And without love, then we're heading nowhere.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
We have to take a quick break. When we come back, I'll be asking them about the family, the parents. How did they navigate that in the most respectful way that I imagine they must have done so? We'll be back after this break. welcome back. My guests are amazing. They've just been like making me chuckle. We're talking about interracial dating and relationships. And in studio we have Kelvin, Njoroge, and Azmairah Saleh. And they were so amazing in the first segment, just giving us a little bit of background into who they are and how they met.
Yeah.
But now let's get into meeting the folks, the parents, which already is a daunting situation for anyone about to go into a room and be like, hi, Mr. So-and-so and Mrs. So-and-so.
Yeah.
So I want to know from the both of you, how did you go about prepping for that? And I'm sure there must have been prep work involved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
On my side.
Okay. How did you go about that?
When I had to have him meet my parents,
Yeah.
which was not even very far, it was just recently.
Yeah.
Because of course in the beginning also they weren't, it was for them, it was like they couldn't understand why I had chosen the path I had chosen.
Okay.
So they actually met this year at a restaurant.
Yeah.
So for him I was like, okay, don't say this and don't do that. And when you meet them, this is what you need to greet them with. When they do this, you stand up. When they say that, don't let them pay the bill. You know, you pay the
Yeah.
bill. Like, yeah. So it was actually, it was one day of prepping because he was like, I don't think you'll let you. He actually, I would say, manipulated me
How so?
into making him meet my parents, because he kept saying, oh, you wouldn't do it, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I will. And he's like, when? I'm like, okay, by the end of the day I'll let you know when
Yeah.
and where. So I talked to my dad and he's like, okay, fine, no problem. If this was
Yeah.
what makes you happy, then okay, fine, we'll meet the guy.
Oh.
So I told him, okay, we're meeting them tomorrow, so you have like just a night to prepare. And he was so nervous, like, okay, so what should I wear? What suit should I wear? I'm like, you know,
I bet you were in a suit,
He
Kelvin.
was in a
Yes.
suit.
Yes.
The best suit, he's actually his best suit, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna wear this suit. And I'm like, you know, they're not going to even bother about your clothes, because for them they're very simple people.
But I guess he wants to feel his best.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Kelvin, what I love about that is that you were actually urging her on. I want to
Yes,
meet the
yes,
parents.
yes.
Usually you're like, actually, it's fine. We don't want to. We don't
Yeah.
have to. Usually you'd want to like shy away or
Yeah.
run away from something, you know,
True, true.
terrifying or
Yeah.
intimidating.
Yeah.
But you were ready to meet the challenge. So how was that? How was that for you?
I was pretty nervous at first,
Yeah.
but I got to meet the pups and the mom.
Yeah.
And me and the pups had a very intellectual conversation. I was like, okay.
Okay, good.
So it went so well.
Yeah.
And I even got a second meeting without her
Oh.
at their home.
Yeah.
And we had chai.
Okay, good.
That we call tea chai.
Chai, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that they met us halfway, because they knew that she wasn't backing down in whatever pursuit for happiness she was going with. And I would say it was just amazing for us.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now, that's how Kelvin was. How were you?
When I was,
Yeah,
I was
during that-
so nervous.
Really?
Because like, I know my dad can be intimidating, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I don't know what he's going to ask him, and he's
Dads-
probably
dads generally are just
he's probably going to
terrifying.
scare him off, like, oh my god. But the funny thing is that we didn't even talk about us. We're talking about like politics and like stuff. So it was like
Right.
a very nice general kind of meet, like a meet and greet. We weren't getting too much into detail about what the reason as to why we met.
Yeah.
He said, because he said he wants to get to know him first before
Yeah.
he now goes and, you know, tells him like, yo, if you hurt my daughter, it's going to be
Yeah,
the end of you.
yeah.
So yeah, it was actually a very pleasant meeting.
Right.
At the end of it, I was like, whew, okay, it really
Relax.
yeah, like, whew, like, I was so nervous. I didn't expect it to go as well as it did.
Beautiful. And was that the first person to meet first boyfriend to meet your dad?
No.
Okay. So you had gone through the experience, but was this more nerve-wracking or
Yeah.
just equal? It was more nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Okay, now how about when you met his parents? How was that?
I actually met them way early in the relationship.
Okay.
It was, I think it was 1 month into our relationship.
Was that
Yeah.
planned? Oh, nice.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to meet his sister. She was studying in Embu, so we were
Okay.
going to meet her.
Yeah.
And he's like, we need to pass by home, which is in Thika, to go and pick some stuff so I can take to my sister.
Oh, you're just gonna throw that
Yeah.
in there. Let's just pass by home. Okay. Okay.
So initially, he didn't tell his parents who exactly I was.
Yeah.
Because we have a business together, so he just said, this is my business partner and we work together.
Yeah.
But then after that, he went home, like 2 weeks after that, and that's when he explained to the mom, okay, this is who she is.
Ah.
And then after that, then I think I met the whole family, like his whole extended family after that.
Jeez.
At,
Kelvin.
I was going all out.
yeah.
Deep end.
So
Go,
he
Azmairah.
took me to was us funeral anniversary, I think.
Okay, okay.
So we had gone. I don't exactly remember where
Okay.
exactly.
Njoroge.
Yeah. So we went there, and it's like when we entered, everyone was like, "Okay, who is Kelvin with?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we sat down, and the whole time, people kept giving us eyes. But then after that, everyone now got to know me, and the next day we had like a meet and greet with his family. So
Oh.
that's how he introduced me to his family. I would
Oh,
say.
great. And it seems like, the reverse was a little easier.
Yeah.
Were you nervous about introducing Azmairah? And did you prep her at all? Or were you just like, yeah.
No, I didn't
No.
give her any props.
Kelvin, you just threw her in the deep end. But were you nervous about
Yes,
it?
yes. Because I was afraid of maybe they will not be so accommodative to the idea. But I'm glad they took it with a lot of open-mindedness.
Okay, okay. And I think also it's important to note, especially I guess in Azmairah's case, because yours is the more sensitive one,
Yeah.
you really have to respect your parents in this, is that you sort of involved them too. You didn't just throw them in and
Yeah.
just be like, this is it, take it or leave it, end of story. But you tried to make sure that, I bet even, trying to pick the restaurant was a point of reference to them and make sure
Yeah.
that they're comfortable. Asking him to meet the bill,
Yeah.
right? So making sure that the parents are also comfortable.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they don't tell you this, but they do make up part of this relationship. They're involved.
Yeah, true,
They
true.
make up part of the relationship.
Yeah.
Now, are the two of you of different religious backgrounds?
Yeah.
From different
Yes.
religious backgrounds?
Yes.
So you are...
I'm Christian and she's Muslim.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that ever an issue for the two of you?
No.
How do you then go about, say, celebrating important religious festivities? I mean, was it,
No,
recently?
the
How
good
do you-
thing is he respects what I have to do.
Yeah.
So like when it was Ramadan, we would hardly meet, we'd hardly spend time together, and he was fine with that because I'd be at my mom's. So yeah, he was, and it was like Eid, he was like, yeah, I celebrate with family, and he wouldn't even like be like, oh yo, why aren't you calling me and why aren't you being with me? No, nothing.
Yeah.
So he was very respectful of what I have to do and my responsibility to my family at that point when we're celebrating such certain things like Eid or like just any other religious activities. But like if we'd had prayers, he would be fine with it. He'll be like, yeah, you go do your thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to him, the good thing is that we all get a holiday when Christians have to celebrate their religion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we actually we spent Easter together. Yeah.
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 Okay.
So yeah, I accommodate him. If he needs to go wherever he needs to go, he goes and does his thing. If I need to go, I go. So
Okay.
yeah.
So are there ever moments where you've had to celebrate an important holiday, religious holiday together? Like, maybe have to involve your parents or family or the church or something like that? Have there been moments of intersection?
No.
So far, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in this case, how would you go about, say, if you were to one day have children, is that something that you would be open to raising both under both religions, or how would you do it then?
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Number one is to introduce them to both cultures. They need to know where each of us have come from, to be able to understand why we do certain things and why we act in a certain way. When it comes to religion, the same thing. Introduce them to both.
Yeah.
But we have decided that we don't want it to be confusing for them as well.
Okay.
We need them to know where they're going, not that one says this and the other says that. Then they wouldn't know
Right.
exactly where they're headed to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a decision that we've already made. but
Yeah.
we'll keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, how has been the response from the larger community? Say maybe on your end, whether you said you're Kikuyu, aren't you?
Yeah.
So in that response, so maybe if you go, I don't know, neighborhood shopping where you used to go, has there been any kind of pushback from that in that sense, or relatives?
On my end, no.
No.
No, I think I come out strong.
Okay.
So it's a bit intimidating for people to give me their own honest opinion on things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think maybe they're scared, like?
Yes, I think I have that personality of being a person who is out there. Yeah.
Okay. And you, Azmairah?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of pushback from extended family. But the more I keep saying that he's there, he's in the picture, and he's not going anywhere, and you guys need to like take this as it is.
Yeah.
I find that some of them are coming around.
Yeah.
Like we had a wedding in my family recently, and he was there, and he spent at least 20 to 25 minutes speaking to one of my cousins about various things, which I was so nervous because up to now I'd only met my parents, my siblings, and a few of my really close cousins. Otherwise, the extended family know.
Okay.
But for this, yes, there's still a bit of resistance, but I'm hoping that as time goes by, everyone will see. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what I want. It's my happiness, because I keep saying, when we're happy, everyone's happy with you. But when you're sad, no one's going to be there for you. So I need to know that whoever I've chosen is going to be there with me for the long haul.
Yeah.
Irrespective of whether people agree and accept him, that's up to them.
And I bet eventually, the time will tell and will show that this is something real and strong, and they'll come around. Hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
How has your family responded to them? Like the sort of pushback, has it been difficult for them as well?
Yeah, I think, especially in our culture, everything, what society says or what society expects is what everyone then expects of you. Yeah, so of course for them, even when they're accepting, they still that, no, how can you accept this, and it's not right, and you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be going that way, have you tried to talk to her? So for them, again, they have to handle our situation as well as handle the family around, because for them, they still don't understand why. And I keep saying, as long as my parents have accepted, for me, that's what's most important.
And you've got their support.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like that. It almost feels like you're standing on the shoulders of giants, really, when you know that your parents have your back. So thank you, Mama and Baba, to the both of them. Now, how about the moment when both parents meet? I don't think they've met yet, have they?
No, they haven't.
Are you already trying to like prepare mentally, spiritually, physically?
I've thought about it, but I think it will go well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are there things that you sort of set them up for, or talk to them about, like, oh, I think you need to prep for this or for that?
No.
Yeah?
I just warn them about the chilies.
Food. That's a good one. Was it a different? Was that a complete shock? No, but you've had Indian food before, I bet.
And he loves them. He eats
I'm
more
more
spices.
Indian than she is.
Okay.
He eats more spices than I do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Actually, that's going to be an interesting one for them to be like, aha, so now we get all the cooking lessons and everything we get to learn. What about dress? I know you're into your suits.
Yes.
But have you ever had to maybe wear more traditionally or cultural, like Indian attire for any function?
He has asked me that he wants
I
he wants it to be made, and I told him, okay, we'll take you to the tailor and get one stitched. Yeah.
I bet that's really gonna improve your swag.
because they have a way of dressing. It's so fancy.
Yeah. And rich in texture and pattern and color.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll continue the conversations with both Kelvin and Azmairah. Welcome back, ladies and gents. So we're talking about interracial dating, the ups, the downs, the parents, how to involve them in the families, extended families, and all of that. And in studio, we have Kelvin and Azmairah. That's Kelvin Njoroge and Azmairah Saleh.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you know how usually when you're looking to buy a car and maybe you're trying to get a Vitz, and next thing you know, they're just you just see them everywhere. Every single place you turn, there's a Vitz.
We can relate.
You can relate?
Yeah.
So when you started dating, did you start to notice all the maybe racial comments that go on? Did you become sensitized to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me about some of those moments.
I got the backlash a lot.
You? How
Yeah.
so?
You asked constantly what you see in her that you didn't see in other women. But at the end of the day, the negative energy shouldn't define what you want.
Yeah.
I'm a believer of pursuing your own happiness
Yeah.
and your own success. Build your brand,
Okay.
because we are all brands.
Yeah.
If it's you, you go all out and live your best life. Yeah. So I take the negative energy and I take out I sieve the good parts, and then I just leave the other.
So these comments, do they come from your friends or family or people you know?
People I know.
And what did you do? Was there any kind of consequence on your end? Like, oh,
Nah,
you were just
just
like,
let them slide.
Okay.
Because I was told that I'm dating her for cute babies.
Yeah.
oh gosh. Well, I bet they'll be cute.
Yeah,
Though,
we
but
keep joking about that.
There's more to that. Let me tell
Yeah,
you something.
true,
There's
true,
more
true.
to that than just a cute baby.
True.
And what about you, Azmairah?
Yes, like I say, like when we'd gone to the bank,
Oh.
and people don't, they perceive like as if we're not together, and maybe he's my bodyguard. We keep joking about that, by the way. Whenever we
Yeah,
walk, he's like, I'm your
driver.
bodyguard or my driver.
Very, very well-dressed bodyguard.
Exactly.
Yes.
Even driver, because he's always in his suits and his watches and his accessories.
Wait, so do people actually assume that, or do you joke?
Yeah,
that?
no, we joke, but
We joke.
sometimes people will be like, people
No.
will think that he's your driver because it's so
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
it's unorthodox to see the two of us together.
Yeah.
So that, and generally just when people see us together, they always ask like, are you guys together? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
why can't we be together?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, so I read an article that so people are generally trying to be more sensitive to all sorts of things in different relationships as well. And so apparently they were trying to come out with emojis of different races, right? Because you've got all sorts of emojis.
Yeah.
Now you even have like 2 female emojis, 2 male emojis, and they represent different relationships.
Yeah.
But there was never one for like maybe 1 black, 1 white, 1 Asian, 1 white, different things.
True.
So are there ways in which you think the public can be a little bit more sensitive?
Yes.
Yes.
If we get platforms like this and we get to speak of a story, a very beautiful story, and the journey that we've come from and where we are headed, then we get to sensitize people more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if we don't have people who are speaking about it, then no one will hear.
Yeah. And it still is this hush-hush
Yes,
thing.
yes.
And you wonder, so which one has the money or what's going on? Like there has to be a motive. It's never just as simple as they just love each other.
Yeah.
And what about people who come up to you and ask questions? Would you rather no one came up to you and you just were like, why don't ask questions?
Actually, I don't think people have actually come up to us. People you just see us the eyes or like.
Yeah.
But people actually come to us and be like, say something to our face, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
But after a while, I don't know, we live in our own bubble now. So when we go out and we're holding hands, it doesn't matter who you're looking at us. It doesn't matter who is there.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, maybe you could now tell me what's been the toughest part about your journey? And maybe it doesn't even have to be focused on the interracial part. It could just be relationships in general. But what's been a moment where you like, ooh, that was a hill we had to climb and overcome?
I think understanding each other's cultures.
Oh.
That was, And as much as we respect it, sometimes we don't understand why they do
certain
things. Yeah.
Like what?
Like superstitions, like if I'll tell him, don't do that, by the way, it's a superstition. If you do that, this will happen. He'll be like, "Ugh, you guys.
So do you then not do it? Do you listen?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, but if I want to make her happy, I'll do it. I'll do
Okay.
it for her.
Okay, and for you?
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what has made you appreciate the other culture? Because I know maybe we've talked about the differences so much, but what have you learned and appreciated about, the other ethnicity?
For them, I'll say the sense of family. They take it a notch higher because they won't. They will go out of their way for their families, and they will always try to have these ceremonies or these eat-outs or these korogas, whereby everyone is just coming through and coming with something, and then they enjoy, have a good time. The sense of family is just amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'll have one dinner on a Sunday or a lunch, and I'll be like, oh, by the way, on Monday there's something. He's like, but you guys just had one yesterday. I'm like, yeah, but we have one today and we have one on Friday as well.
Yeah.
So it's like we're always constantly together.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
For him, I would say in his culture, it's just, I've had the opportunity to go for about 3 weddings. Okay, 3 ceremonies from his side, and to just see how things are done. Like, when it's, for us, our weddings are very simple. And I keep telling him, like, once you have the nikah, it's over and done with.
Yeah.
It's like 15 minutes tops and you're done. And then it's like lunch. It's not like a huge celebration. Like the reception will just be people, the bride and groom will come, they'll maybe have their first dance, cut the cake, and then people eat and they leave. But for them, like when the bride and the groom come, and everyone's so excited, and they all go and get the bride they go and get them from the front, and they're all dancing, and it's like for 2 hours, people are just going round and round and dancing,
the speeches.
and the speeches.
Oh yeah, the speeches.
Okay, the speech is not something that I did too much, because I was like, okay, we don't need to know who gave what. Yeah, but just the whole sense of the way people come in together for the weddings, that was just
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, actually, speaking of weddings, no pressure. Okay, I'm not trying to say anything, but I'm sure it's come into your mind. How would you go about that? Would you infuse both? Because if you're talking like a quick 15-minute in and out, have lunch, and this is like a 10-hour dancing ceremony. Come on. So how have you thought about how you're gonna fuse it, or which way you'll go?
In as much as our nikahs are like 15 minutes, we normally have the ceremonies before that lead to the nikah. So we have like there's this turmeric ceremony, which is normally for the girls, and then there's the henna ceremony, and then now there's the nikah itself.
And that's on several days, isn't it?
Yeah, several days. And then the day after the nikah, it's like we call it a vidai ceremony, where you're leaving from your dad's house. So after the reception, you go back to your mom's house and you officially leave from your mom's house. So, we're thinking maybe incorporate both cultures.
That's just going to be like a 14-day wedding. No big deal. At this rate, we're just going to be here for the whole month celebrating. But why not? Hey, we're celebrating love. And it's important to infuse both cultures, isn't it?
True.
Now, what advice would you have for someone who's watching and who's maybe at the start of their relationship with someone of a different race?
Don't give up. Try, keep trying. Because for me, I would say, like, I kept putting him out there for my family and for my parents to accept, and kept being the same answer all the time. No. But now I can see them coming out and be like, okay, this is what makes you happy.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like if I had given up, then we wouldn't be sitting here, and I wouldn't be this happy.
Yeah.
So I would say don't give up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You, Kelvin?
If it's pure, because I always say if you don't know love, then you don't know how to love. So if it's pure and no hidden motives, then just keep pushing.
Yeah. Okay.
Also support.
Ooh,
support from the other person.
Both sides, we kept on supporting each other. When she's down, I'll always give her motivation words, just to pull her back. And when I'm down, she'll always do the same. It's always being there for each other has helped us walk this journey till
Yeah.
where we are now.
Did you get support from outside as well?
Friends.
Just mostly my
Friends,
friends.
my siblings. Yeah.
And again, it's so funny how at first your siblings were like, no, no, we don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. And now
Yeah.
they're the ones who you look to for
Yeah.
support. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And again, I think it goes back to if something's new, it's just a little terrifying and they just
Yeah.
want to protect you.
Embrace it and then see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about your differences, race, culture, religion.
Yeah.
But what about the two of you brings you together? What do you guys like to do for fun?
Driving.
Yeah.
What?
Driving.
Wait a second. What? In Nairobi?
Yeah. Okay. We drive out of Nairobi.
Out of Nairobi.
Yeah.
I was like, that means by driving in Nairobi, it's like being stuck in
No,
traffic.
but the funny thing is that we always used to have our most serious of conversations when we're on the road, in the car. So we're like, we need to talk something serious and we go to
That's
a
right.
restaurant, but we don't end up talking. Like, we just be like laughing and joking. And then when we went to the car, it's like, okay, serious business. By the way, we need to get this sorted out. We need to get that sorted
Yeah.
out. So, yeah, I didn't even say driving. It actually brought out the
Beauty of
yeah,
relationship.
and what we have in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, where do you drive to? Do you have a destination or do you just drive?
Viewpoint.
Yeah.
So that's your corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, not part of the race conversation.
Yeah.
You guys talked about being in business together.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a different show for that. Couples in business together.
Yeah.
How has that been?
Funny thing is that everyone keeps asking us that because we work at the same place. So
Yeah.
like, you guys are always together. Don't you get like tired? Like, and the funny thing is that we sit next to each other.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing we have dividing us is a glass.
I mean, but that's nothing.
Yeah.
What? So
Yeah.
how has that been for your
I don't know. We
relationship?
usually always have something at the end of the day to talk about, and it's like he's doing his work, and when we're at work, it's purely professional.
Yeah.
There is no
Yeah.
I'm his girlfriend and he's my no.
Yeah.
It's we're colleagues at work.
Yeah.
Lunchtime is when we break off and we're like, yeah, now we're a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise when we're at work, it's purely professional.
Yeah.
For our business, it's a small startup. It's still growing.
Yeah.
So
does that ever lead to like issues or fights or like, no, I said that we are going,
no, actually we
this.
decide from the onset that this is how
Yeah.
we're doing it and this is what we need to do. So we have a plan and we go with the plan. So yeah, the car talks actually is what
Okay.
initiated the business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then what about those moments where you're just like, I'm really not feeling you today, Kelvin, actually, and I don't want to hear it. And then you go to work, you find him there, and then you have a business. How do you handle those moments where you maybe had an argument, but you still work together
Yeah.
and do business together? Okay.
Professionalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, because basically we might be angry at each other. We had a fight.
Yeah.
But basically we don't have fights. We normally have arguments
Yeah.
or misunderstandings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very mature. I'd be like, I'm breaking up this business today. Okay, I'm done, and then bring it back
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's important also to just draw the lines.
True.
And I
Yeah.
guess because of your situation, you've just had to deal with so much.
Yeah, these
But
things are like so
They're
small.
so
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
small things, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
And the funny thing is that we may be like annoyed at each other the night before.
Yeah.
And we're not talking in the morning. In the morning we just come and we're like, hi, how are you?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's it. But by 10 o'clock it's like, I can't do this. Like, I need to tell you something, so I need to just like he wants to give me his maybe his samosa or
Yeah.
something. And I'm like, okay, let's just stop. We can't. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. Well, thank you guys. Our time has come to an end. But thank you so much for
Thank you for
sharing your
having us.
story with us and being very open about the difficult parts
Yeah.
and how you overcame that. And we really wish you all the best. And
Thank
we're happy
you.
to also come to the wedding if there's one.
Yes,
like that.
yes.
Give us a call. We'll show up. Okay, now that it's Wednesday, you know we're going to feature our WCW, that's Woman Crush Wednesday. And for today, we have Carol Kariuki. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Kenya Private Sector Alliance, that's KEPSA. And she's credited for transforming KEPSA from a little-known business institution to one of the most influential institutions in Kenya and globally. She's also won numerous awards, including Extraordinary Personality to Inspire the Future. She's sat on several task forces. She also sits on a number of boards and is definitely a boss lady. And for that, we celebrate her today. Right, what else do I want to say? I guess that's it. Thank you guys once again. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We talk about health, mental health. We're continuing the discussion. We'll see you 8 a.m. sharp.